At dawn, the medieval city awakens. The air smells of rain, wood smoke, and bread. And soon, a new scent joins them: the market. In every medieval town, from Paris to Bruges, the market was the beating heart of life. It wasn't just a place to buy food. It was a theater, a social network, and sometimes a battlefield of smells, noise, and deals. Markets didn't appear by chance. To open one, you needed a charter, written permission from your lord or your bishop. In France, this was called a charte de foire. In England, the market rite. Some towns were so proud of it that they carved the date of their first market above the city gate, like Saint-Denis, where monks ran the Thursday market as early as 1124. Every week, a bell announced the start of trade. Selling before that bell rang? That could cost you your stall, or worse, your reputation. Prices weren't free either. Each market had inspectors, gardes du poids et de la mesure, who checked that scales were honest. If you cheated, your punishment could be creative. In England, dishonest bakers were tied to a cart and paraded through town, their bad bread hanging around their neck. Bakers also had to follow the Assize of Bread, a royal law fixing the price of each loaf based on the cost of wheat. Too small? Jail. Too heavy? Bankruptcy. Nothing was left to chance. The market was a world of control, moral, religious, and economic. Still, it was the smells that defined it. Imagine cinnamon and pepper from Venice mixing with fish from the North Sea, roasted meat, wet straw, horse dung, and incense from the church nearby. That was the scent of a medieval market. Overwhelming, intense, unforgettable. The historian Alain Corbin once called it a world where the nose was king. Soap was rare, sewage ran freely through the streets, and perfume was reserved for the elite. But medieval people didn't see this as filth. To them, smell meant life. A street without smell was a dead street. On the stalls, you could find everything: bread, salt, dried fish, onions, honey, fabrics dyed crimson or indigo, and sometimes true marvels. From Venice came pepper, sugar, and silk. From Flanders, fine wool. From North Africa, almonds and perfumes. And every merchant tried to outshout the next. A fishmonger's cry could be heard from 200 meters away. One chronicler from 13th century Paris even complained that you could hear the merchants of Léal over the bells of Notre Dame. The market was the great equalizer. Rich and poor crossed paths here. Peasants sold their crops. Monks came to buy wine. Nobles strolled through the crowd, flaunting their wealth. Children chased chickens between stalls. Thieves cut purses. Jugglers performed tricks. And preachers shouted sermons about sin. It was noisy, chaotic, and very alive. Some towns even paid official jesters to keep the crowd entertained. But behind the laughter, there was danger. Markets were also where disease spread fastest. Rats arrived hidden in sacks of grain. Merchants carried fleas and news from afar. When the Black Death struck in 1348, many markets were closed. But as soon as fear faded, people returned. Because life without the market was simply unthinkable. In a strange way, these gatherings spread both plague and progress. And the church? It was never far away. Many markets stood right in front of cathedrals, so buyers could confess right after bargaining. Priests even sold indulgences, slips of parchment said to erase your sins. For 1 denier, your soul is clean, a friar was heard shouting in Reims in 1284. Commerce and faith, side by side, like incense and sweat. From these noisy squares came something remarkable. The modern world was born here. From these markets grew accounting, taxation, banking, even capitalism itself. The Italian word mercato gave birth to merchant, commerce, mercantile. And today, when you stroll through a Christmas market in Strasbourg or Bruges, you're walking the same ground, smelling the same spices, hearing the same laughter, feeling the same heartbeat. Centuries change, currencies change, but the human soul, our hunger for connection, for noise, for smell, for life, that never fades.